you've got
Especially
charisma.
from
You've got
Project Red.
charisma, right?
Oh yeah.
And I'd like to think my charisma's attached to my.
One of the early things was that it's going to be the size of literal Detroit.
Oh wow!
So it's about twice the size as GTA 5's entire map.
Oh,
It's
Wow.
big. It's
Shit.
big.
It's 12 times the size of The Witcher 3 Hunt, and that's including Velen and Novigrad.
Jesus.
But
That's
Huge.
too big.
But it's here's the thing though, why it's not too big, is because that is everything.
Yeah,
'Cause-
because I mean, I put 405 hours into The Witcher 3, so trust me when I say that. Like, I'm really like that. The base game was too big. Like, the majority of players never even finished that game because the original campaign was just that long. And I'm not complaining. That's why I want to get Cyberpunk.
Well,
Like,
most people
that
don't
game will
finish
last me.
games.
No, fair enough. And I'm in that camp with a lot of games, but like The Witcher 3 being that long, and 405 hours was not just one playthrough, but you know, you could probably do what, 80 to 100 hours in The Witcher 3 if you did the game plus the 3 expansions, probably most of the side content. I'm thinking you could probably average 80 to 100.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Another thing with the actual size is we were just talking about how they want to put in the multiplayer later. That's why I think the multiplayer is either going to be a collection of co-op missions that already exist in the world, or co-op through the main campaign, or zones in which co-op can be performed.
well, and they could also do this sort of GTA vibe model where it is the world, but you know, there are like certain mission hubs, places you go out to where you start like a genuine mission, which is
Yeah.
an instanced version of the area that you're in. Like, I could see that.
Yeah, like I hate to say it, but I think like if the multiplayer were to become something like GTA 5, then that would be ideal for a lot of people.
It probably would be.
Or I guess more realistically, more like I don't know if Red Dead's online is the same, but Red Dead Redemption on the Xbox 360 and PS3, you had the online lobbies that were just your open world, and people could become wanted criminals, and then other people could hunt them because they get marked on the map, or they could go do bullshit all over the world, or you had your option to do instance co-op missions.
Well, and you know, the thing is about Red Dead Redemption, like, it came on sale for $4 this week, but I think a lot of that is the fact that it was dead. Like, nobody was playing it.
Yeah. It came in one.
Well, the online scene apparently is actually really kind of coming into its own. Yeah, and they're offering a lot of free stuff to it, and I think that's why they wanted to go standalone. They didn't want to lock online mode behind a $60 paywall, because here's the thing, and we talked about this a little bit off stream, and just kind of as the friends that we are, Red Dead Redemption 2, just the Red Dead series in general, it's a good series. It's a great series, and Red Dead Redemption 2 specifically is a testament to how a RPG single player game is made well in its core mechanics, and then adds on online as a feature. That game is still doing well. That game is still a $60 platform game. On sale, it's at $40. When Steam puts it on sale, it's at $40. Versus Marvel Avengers that just came out, right? It's a AAA title, big names behind it, and when it went on sale, it was at like $15.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you haven't even recouped the production cost.
Yeah, you're telling me a game that's been out for about 6 months versus a game that's been out for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
That big of a price difference, and that just tells you itself what people are willing to pay for, what they're willing not to pay for. Now, it's just a good idea to separate the online mode if it's doing well from the $60 paywall.
So that actually is a good segue into my next question. That also kind of keeps us on track with Cyberpunk. Was
Thank you.
so we've seen it 1,000 times, like Ubisoft. The Avengers, like, they put out a game that's just too soon. It wasn't fully baked. It's a little raw in the middle. How do you all feel about Cyberpunk pushing back the release date and actually putting out a game that they're happy with, instead of just kind of being like, yeah, you all play it and whatever you get is good enough?
I'm shocked it came out this year.
Yeah, me too. I think at this point, it better be good, and it's not because of that the mentality that gamers get. that we've talked about before, which is like sometimes we're a little too demanding. It's that they did push it back so much, and now it's coming out. So
Right.
gamers are patient until you give them a reason not to be. And I think that if they don't have something right now, and it's major enough for it to cause a problem, they need to push it back again.
Well,
Oh,
I
yeah.
I was full blown expecting another pushback until probably around spring, probably somewhere around
Yeah.
April. I was expecting
Exactly.
them to push it back again for full optimization for the new consoles.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that actually is a good point because they
It
said
is.
that they were going to do a free upgrade for them, but they didn't say when,
Yeah.
did they?
I don't know because the only game I know of that has full details on their upgrades is Control.
Maybe they were working on that simultaneously. I know a lot of times they'll split their teams in half and do that simultaneously. So that may have been the reason why they pushed it back before. They were just getting that new hardware and testing it. So that could be part of it.
Well, keep in mind though that there was because we also like briefly hit on earlier today, just between us, how you have anytime you get close to release, some of the copies are going to go missing, and that happened this week. But even before that, like I think a few weeks ago, maybe somebody else had gotten one of the very first pressings, and a streamer played it online for like an hour before it got pulled down.
Oh, wow.
And what they showed, the gameplay still had some serious, in places, room to improve.
Well,
And that was shortly before it got pushed back again.
and that's actually an excellent segue to something that Chris posted to us earlier that I actually want to talk about is this massive up to 45 gigabyte day one patch that the game's going to have. And I mentioned it before where I'm shocked that people are shocked about this because it's not even the fact that there is a day one patch that is so massive. Of course it's going to be massive. What is on that disc is the 1.0 version that they said, okay, this game functions. We can show this off. I forget when a game goes gold. 1.0 version of a game is what they call in the industry the gold version of that game. That means they can put it on the disc, they can ship it, they can patch it later, and that gold version of the game, they can show off at conventions, they can show off footage, they can make teasers, they can do whatever they want with that footage because it's functional. It's just not
Right.
complete, and then they complete it with a massive update day one.
But most importantly, gold means that it has actually gone into production. So investors know the game has been pressed and it is going out now. There won't be any more delays. That's normally what it means. Like it's really sort of strange that any company, because I can't think of another company that actually has done this. Most of them, when they press something like that, the release date is now, that is the new street date, and it is in writing.
Yeah.
Or in stone, I mean. But what was it, November to December? It wasn't a big deal, right? It was like 1 month, literally, 30 days.
Yeah, it was something like that. And I could never dig up what caused the delay. I want to say it was more of a marketing and localization thing, maybe. Because I know Yakuza and a couple other games and Judgment went through a similar thing where there was a big localization and marketing issue that caused a small delay.
Yeah, that happens a lot with the Japanese games because we have such a disparity between our, well, not just like the way we behave, but our languages.
Well,
Yeah.
Sega's weird about that. Like their past, like 3 or 4 big titles have gotten slight delays because of that. I'm not saying that's what the delay was for. I'm just assuming that's what it was for. If it was only a month, I'm assuming either money or marketing was involved, and something was like, "Oh shit, we need to change this." And personally, they could have just pushed it back for quality assurance, air quotes, and they're like, we're going to put out a better product in the holiday season.
Right.
Well, and also localization problems can be like, that sort of proverbial like cow on the track. Like it can derail your whole shit. Like look at what happened to the Monster Hunter movie this week in China.
Yeah.
And they even got review bombed to hell on Steam. Like the game, like the whole what is it that I'm looking for? That entire Monster Hunter like medium is just getting shot to hell in the place where it desperately needs to succeed. So localization issues, I can understand why they would want to keep it back if it were something like that, because that's like a small thing that should be a small fix that people like in today's environment just are ruthless. They'll shoot you down and never forgive you. It's crazy.
I think the last thing I'll say about the patch is I actually just pulled this up. It looks like I don't know if this is going to be the same for console players. I'm assuming it will be, but day one you're looking at 70 to 80 gigs worth of data to download and install. So I mean, there's a lot there.
Oh yeah.
Like a console game where basically the physical media just validates your purchase and then you download it.
Man, have you seen how big the fucking file size on Gears of War is?
No.
Dude, if you want the multi-language version of Gears of the most recent Gears of War game, not the shitty tactics game, it's 120 gigs on the Windows Store.
Good God.
Yeah.
Wow.
That could also be terrible optimization because they can reduce file size quite a bit.
I think a lot of that is probably uncompressed video or audio files.
Was it just my audio that did that?
I heard.
That was
Yeah.
hilarious.
What happened?
You just went like Pong for a second, where you were like talking and went Pong.
Yeah, like cyber fart right into the mic, man. It was amazing.
No, I don't. I hope the recording picks it up because I didn't hear shit.
That would be sure you will. I won't edit that out.
Yeah. I guess like talking about the release stuff, I can kind of go into one of my really weird things with the release of this game. That's kind of it's not put me off because I mean obviously I still get to play it, but it's the release schedule, like when the game unlocks, it's strange, man.
It is. Like, isn't Eastern time like 9 o'clock on?
It's 7 p.m. East Coast time on Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah.
On my first day off.
Not on Tuesday.
Right.
Like normal releases.
Yeah.
But they've also moved towards a Thursday/Friday cadence as well. So it's not that weird. And with the file size, it makes sense because if you're going off of a subpar to somewhat mediocre internet speed at 7 p.m., you're gonna patch that, and by 9:30, which is when quote unquote the new midnight releases happen for a lot of game stores, GameStop, that puts it right in line.
That sounds horrible.
Right?
You okay?
Yeah, that was
I got a little bit of shit in my lungs.
Oh God, yeah, no, I get it. But no, I have the actual. They put CD Projekt Red put out a official global map of all the release times, and
it just posted that in the resources.
Did
so
you?
If we can throw that up on the video right about now, that would be perfect.
Yeah, we will. We can do that.
It's not that it's extremely strange. So it's like LA, for example, December 9th, 4 p.m. If you're in the Mexico City area, it'll be 6 p.m. East Coast is 7, blah, blah, blah. All that's good. And some of these times are pretty staggered out. And I think it's a kind of a Blizzard situation because this is going to be synced to an online service in some way, similar to like where even though Dragon Age is entirely offline, it's still linked to an online service.
Yeah, and that was my big question too. Is okay, everybody's going to get on, and we have to download this 50 gig file. What? Like, we better not be doing that all at the same time. And I think you're right. I think it is kind of like a Warcraft thing where they're like, okay, we're gonna crowd control this.
Yeah. Or like what they did with Overwatch, where they, if you remember the release of Overwatch, it was a rolling launch where it's just like, okay, East Coast goes live now.
Yeah.
25 minutes later, Mid Coast goes live now.
Right.
And that was a mistake on their part. No, I mean they knew that from Diablo that you can't do it like that and actually have anything work.